Good morning. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. And if you've been around here a while, welcome back. Well, yesterday we made a video on a work day in the garden, budget friendly. We put out a load of mulch that we got, leaf mulch that we got from the city. Well, we got a truckload of it put out. We still have a trailer up that's out there. And Donald had to cover it up because they were calling for rain. And true to the prediction, it's a rainy day. Not only is it a rainy day, but it's a cold rainy day. It's been raining all night. It started in the middle of the night last night, and it's just pouring down. As you can see, he did get that trailer covered up. So that leaf mulch that we hadn't got put out yet is covered up on the trailer out there. But look at the rain. It's a cold, rainy day. Everything is getting a good soaking. I love the rain. I don't get depressed. I don't get down. I don't think it's a nasty day. I think it's beautiful. It's watering everything, a good, healthy rain, and I just love it. Of course, now my favorite thing to do when it rains is to cuddle up and go to sleep. And I won't be doing that today. But since it is a rainy day, I thought I'd just share a day in the life with you here today on the channel and just show you what I do on a rainy day like this. Well, I'm going to close the door because it is cold. It's probably 48, maybe 49 degrees out there today. So to me, that's a chilly day. There's a lot to be done in here. I can do some organizing, some cleaning. Oh my, I would just love to just cuddle up and read a book. I think Eli is coming today, so I'll just have one grandchild today. And he likes to draw and play, and so if I started a book, that would be okay. I would probably get some reading done, but then I feel like there's a lot of things that I've neglected to do inside because I've been outside working on the garden. So I'll probably just organize and clean a little bit. Maybe I'll share a few things that I use and I like to do with you today. I hung up curtains because when it gets, spring and summer, I like to have a curtain just to pull around to block out some of the light. So I got these curtains off of Amazon and I love them. They're really pretty and they're light. They lighten up the space. But I miss just having the windows. See, these plants here, they need light. I have a lot of plants. A lot of live plants. And they need light. So I can't just completely block these windows off and not give these plants what they need. So I'm going to open these up, and hopefully when it warms up, outside enough that I can put these plants without worrying about them freezing, I'll be able to move some of them outside. But I do like the softness of curtains. I forgot how pretty curtains can be. They do soften it up in here. And I am in a neighborhood, so I don't mind having window coverings. You don't want everybody that drives by the front of your house to see inside your house. In a city, you have to be careful about that. But I'm enjoying the curtains so far if I can just figure out a way for these plants to get enough light. I'm drinking tea this morning. I'm drinking that peach tea that I got from TJ Maxx with a little bit of stevia. I've made a little pot of that this morning, and boy, it's good on a day like today. A cold and, cool and rainy day like today. A good cup of tea is good. I'll probably make vegetable soup today. I have plenty of chicken and dumplings left over from when I did the how to make chicken and dumplings video. So I still have a lot of those chicken and dumplings left. We've been eating on them. But I'll need a little break from them. I think I'm going to have vegetable soup I love vegetable soup. Well, I love all soups. Donald, he likes soup, but he doesn't like it like I do. I could eat it for every meal. Today's a good vegetable soup day because it's cold and rainy, and it's a good day for the variety. I love the variety that you can make with soups. I usually don't follow a recipe. I know there's some good soup recipes out there. I just use what I have on hand. I usually have leftover vegetables that I've put in the freezer. Whenever there's a little bit left over for something, I'll put it in a baggie and put it in the freezer and just label it for soup. And then, I have my own chicken broth that I either freeze or can. And I have onions and things on hand, and that's usually how I make my soup. I don't follow a recipe, so it's never the same. It's always different, and I think I like that. And I love looking in a bowl of soup and seeing the variety. I like the variety of different vegetables and whatever meat choices you put in. And so soup is I love soup. It's a whole category in itself. I should do a whole video about soup. That's how much I love it. I could share with you some of my favorite soups and how easy they are to make. I don't think there's anything more economical to make than soup. And it's comforting, and it's delicious, fulfilling, satisfying. You can add anything you want to it. You can, once you get a good bowl of soup going, you can add cheese and crackers. And so today, I'll bring you along with me on making the vegetable soup. Simple but delicious. Get out your favorite soup pot. This is my favorite soup pot. I've got it turned on. I'm going to add a couple of teaspoons of fat to it. I think coconut oil. I can hear the rain outside. It's very soothing. Of course, here's my coconut oil. Of course, a lot of my dishes, a lot of my recipes start out with a chopped onion. Onion adds so much flavor, and it's another way to get a vegetable into your meal, and I love them. This is one large onion chopped. Here's a tip. Use a scraper to pick up your onions and stuff instead of your knife after you chop them. It'll save the sharpness, the sharp edge on your knife. Here's another one. Onions also freeze well. If you've got a bag of onions, instead of letting them sit there and go bad, if you see that they're you've got more than you can use up, you can freeze bell peppers too. These are in individual bags, and I just get them out when I need them. You can get out, chop up your peppers and stuff and your onions and freeze them and use them for later. And instead of having to chop an onion when you need it in a recipe, you can just get out your frozen ones. While the onions are cooking, I'm going to wash these carrots. I usually don't worry about peeling my carrots because there's so many vitamins that just lay under the peeling of a skin on a vegetable. But sometimes there's just some little spots of some kind, that after you wash it that doesn't look that great. So just use your own discretion as to what you like. And if you feel like you need to peel off some of the peeling or all of the peeling, then feel free to do that. That one was a little brown and bumpy, so I'm going to peel off a little bit of that, those spots. Now, of course, I always take the end where it grows and the root end off. Sometimes it's hard to clean that little tip. But if you want to leave that on, that's fine too. I like carrots. I'm not going to use potatoes in this soup, I don't think, because I'm going to let carrots be my main carb vegetable. And you can cut up your carrots any way you like. You can chop them up really fine, or you can just cut them up in little rounds. This one's so big, I think I'm just going to chop it up. But whatever, you know, shape carrot you want in your soup. These big carrots can take a little bit of elbow grease to get them chopped up. You know, you can always just chop a little carrot like this. But see, you can cut them any way you like them. These are cut in rings, just sliced down the carrot, and these are chopped. A tip to make your vegetables go further, if you just have a few vegetables and you got a lot of people to feed, is you can slice these thinner, and it'll look like you have the same amount of carrots, but they'll just be thinner. Now we're going to add them to the soup. The onions have caramelized a bit, and we're just going to go ahead and add the carrots in. Now it's okay for these carrots to roast in this pan with these onions for just a few minutes before we add the liquid, while we get some of the other vegetables ready. Now Donald stopped and bought me these 2 little turnips at a farmer's market on his way from South Carolina. He had to go to South Carolina for his job, so on the way back they had a little farmer stand there, a produce stand, and he stopped and bought me these 2 little turnips because he knows that I love the taste of turnips. So I'm just going to peel these 2 little turnips, and I'm going to add them to my soup today because it's a flavor that I like. Just use whatever you have and whatever you like to make a soup. Whatever vegetables that you like together, that's what you can peel and put in. Potatoes. Potatoes make a wonderful addition to soup. So I'm just going to peel these 2 little turnips and chop them up and add them to the soup. Now we're adding our turnips. Now we've got a whole lot of fresh vegetables cut up in here. We've got an onion, several carrots, a couple of turnips, and there's nothing that's been added except 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. That's what I'm cooking this in. You can cook it in the oil or the fat of your choice. It's time to add some salt. There's no salt been added to this. Of course, salt, you regulate that according to your taste, to your dietary needs. So add as much salt as you are comfortable with or that you like to use. I don't have a problem with salt. I use it in every meal. Now I'm going to add a can of beef broth. This is homemade beef broth. canned beef broth and chicken broth and vegetable broth to have it on hand for days like this when I need a broth to add to my soup. Now this is not going to look like the broth that you buy in a box from the store that's mainly salt and a little bit of flavorings. This is it's broth off of bones. So I add that and put a little water in that I rinse the jar out with. But if boxed broth is what you have, or if you don't even have a broth, bouillon cubes or soup, bouillon in a little jar, you can buy little jars of bouillon. Those will be fine for your soup too. Just use what you have. Now these are some things that I found in my cupboard that I'm going to add to my soup. We love greens. Greens are nutritious. Margaret Holmes is an excellent brand of greens if you buy your greens from the grocery store. These are grown and packaged in South Carolina, and they are delicious. I'm pretty sure Margaret Holmes, that's as close as you can get to homemade without actually picking your greens and cooking them yourself. The only two ingredients are turnip greens and water. Just look up the nutritional value of greens, turnip greens, or really any kind of greens, edible greens. The nutritional value is unmatched, really. They're excellent. I'm going to add kidney beans. And I'm going to add a can of tomatoes. I'm adding the kidney beans and I'm adding the juice and all. After all, it's soup. When you drain beans, you're draining off. When you drain and rinse beans, you're draining off nutrients. I don't care if this soup looks cloudy. It'll taste just the same. I add the diced tomatoes. And the turnip greens. I already have a few turnips in here. So these turnip greens will go good with the tomatoes, the beans, all the ingredients that I already have in here. Now I'm going to look in the refrigerator and see what kind of meat I have that I can use in this soup. I found a pack of ground burger in the refrigerator that I had laid out to make a meal out of. So that's when I'm gonna brown this up and add it to my meat. To my soup. Now you can use whatever meat you have on hand. You can use chicken, leftover chicken, just take it off the bone. You can use, I have 3 kielbasa sausages in there I thought about using, but I'm going to save them for another meal to make with onions and peppers. So I just chose to go ahead and use this pack of sausage we have thawed out. This is real mild sausage, so it's not going to be an overpowering flavor in this soup, but I'll just add the little bites of meat that you need or that you want to taste and to have for nutrition. So I'm going to brown this up And then when I get it browned up, we'll add it to our soup. Now the meat's browned up and it's time to add it to the soup. As you can see, our pot of soup is getting big here. And you're going to add whatever kind of meat you have. And now that we've got our meat all in here, and we've got most of our ingredients that we're going to use, it's time to think about seasoning. I pretty much use garlic as a seasoning. I use it for flavoring. I know it has a lot of other properties, but I just keep minced garlic in the refrigerator. Into a pot this big, I'm going to put 2 tablespoons. I'm going to put ground bay leaves. You can use whole bay leaves. You just have to remember, this is a half a teaspoon, so I'm going to put about half of that, which is about 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground bay leaves. I love the flavor of bay leaves. And I'm going to add some celery seeds since I'm out of celery. So that'll be about a teaspoon. 2 halves equals 1. And if you don't know a lot about mixing up spices and you don't want to have to deal with that, here's a seasoning that is delicious, Old Bay seasoning. I'm going to tell you, you can't go wrong with this. If you don't know how to mix stuff together, then just go ahead and try this Old Bay seasoning, and it'll add a really good flavor to any of your soups or stews. Now, old-time trick from some old good cooks that I know, that I've had a pleasure of knowing over my years, know a secret. Pickle juice, relishes, they're excellent to add to your soups and stews. They add a lot of flavor. As you can see in this pot, this is a big pot. There's a lot of soup here. There's a lot of liquid. So when you add this, your soup is not going to take on a pickle flavor. Now, it will pick up some of the spices that's in pickles. There's a lot of spices in pickles. You can see all these spices in here. This juice is really good and flavored. So you can pour maybe a tablespoon or so of pickle juices and any kind of juice that you save from things that you enjoy eating. Chances are, if you have it on hand, then somebody in your family likes to eat it. They like the flavor of it. So it's just going to add another level of flavor to your soup to add. I'm taking a big heaping tablespoon, and I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of this squash relish, which is a favorite of Donald and mine. And I'm going to add it to the soup. Now I've got everything that I'm going to put in my soup except a little salt and pepper. I'm going to add salt and pepper. And if salt and pepper is the only spice you have, it'll be enough to add flavor to your soup and to make it good. Donald loves pepper. And on that thought, I think I'm going to add a little bit of cayenne pepper. Not much, just a bit. Just a pinch. Now here's the soup. I've got to let it simmer, let all these flavors meld together. It was using what I had on hand. There's a lot of good fresh whole ingredients in here. And it will be delicious. I'm just going to put this lid on it. And it'll come to a faster simmer. And I'm going to let the soup simmer for probably for a few hours. I'm going to run the recycling and the garbage out. Tomorrow's garbage pickup day, and I like to go ahead and get it out on Mondays before Donald pulls his truck in, and it makes it hard to get the trash can down with his car pulled up. Well, we've got a little break in the rain. Looks like everything got a good dose of water. I don't have a proper place in the kitchen to put the recycling. I just kind of sit it in front of the trash can, the garbage can, and I bring it out when I bring out the bag of trash that I usually have to bring out every day. We do have a recycling container. The lid is still off of the trash can. The wind blew it off, and we called Waste Management, but they hadn't come out and repaired it yet. But we do have a recycling bin, the one with the blue lid, and then a garbage can, city pickup. Whew, still chilly out here. The soup is smelling really good. I've pulled out a few books that I might read today. I love to reference through the books. I look through my cookbooks and things. It gives me a lot of inspiration to get things done. So I'm just going to read over some of the books today. I think I'm giving in to the urge to read instead of getting things cleaned or organized. But sometimes you just have to use your day that you have a break doing something you love to do. So I think I'm just going to look through and read over some of the books. The soup smells really good. I'm ready for that to be finished and get to a point where I can have some for lunch. Cleaning up the stainless steel pan from where I browned the hamburger. This is one of my all-time favorite frying pans. It's an all-clad, and I love it. I love stainless steel. Well, I wanted to share with y'all something that you saw me use a lot. This is my glass cleaner bottle. I just make a simple glass cleaner. You can spend as much money as you want to, but there are really simple ways to do things. This is dishwashing liquid. It's Honeycrisp Apple. And this is the one that's from Food Line, and I think it's around $3 for this big bottle. It's 24 ounces, and it smells really good, and it works really good. And it's free from a lot of the chemicals that are in a lot of other ones. I mean, it's not completely chemical free, but it's no synthetic dyes, no synthetic fragrances, and no animal testing. It's a plant-based cleaning agent. It's natural. It's got the breakdown of it here on the instructions, but I like to use it. It's one of the dishwashing liquids I really like to use. Now my glass cleaner bottle is empty. This is a bottle I bought from Grove. I'm not sure how long ago, but I've had it for a long time. It's a glass bottle with a silicone sleeve on it, and it's got blue on it, and that helps me remember that that's my glass cleaner. But I know it's my glass cleaner anyway because I always put it back in the same place. But when this jar gets empty, I just wash it good, the outside of it, because you know sometimes they can get a little messy where you're pulling them out to clean with all the time. But I just fill this glass bottle up mainly with water, and I just put a few drops of dishwashing liquid in it. Not much at all. You don't want to put too much, because if you do, it'll be really hard to clean it off your window. And it's as simple as that. Dishwashing liquid is formulated to not leave streaks. So when you wash your windows with it, it's a good gentle way to clean your windows. Of course, I use the recyclable, the reusable cloths. I use a cotton cloth. This one's stained. It's stained, but it's not dirty. It's clean. And then I use this microfiber cloth. I think I got it from Grove too. And I just finish up with the microfiber cloth because it leaves such a good lint-free clean on your glass. Now you might not be able to tell it, but my French doors here have a lot of little fingerprints on it. So I'm just going to take this glass cleaner that I just made with the water and the few drops of dishwashing liquid, and I'm going to clean my glass door. Now if you use too much dishwashing liquid, it'll be real soapy on your window. But if you use just enough, it should just wipe right off. And it should clean. It should have enough of what I call a bite. It should be enough of a bite of soap in there to clean off anything that's on your windows. I'm using it right here near these plants, and it doesn't bother me a bit. I don't worry a bit about it, because I know what's in that bottle is not going to hurt these plants. Now I'll have to step outside and clean them. When this dries good, it won't be any streaks on it. But I'll have to step outside and clean the outside. And you can see that it just cleans just as good as any glass cleaner. And there's not any chemicals on it. It's a good, simple cleaner to make. I keep my cleaner right here in this little buffet under my TV. And I keep it handy there because Madeline loves to watch TV, and she puts her hands all over the TV, so I'm having to wipe that TV down often. And this is the cleaner that I use. You can see it's right in the front. And I have my cloths here because if I didn't, I would be running around all over the place looking for a cloth, and it just saves me time and energy to tuck my cloths in here with my cleaners. Now I do have these cleaners right here. I have this glass cleaner that I got at Ingles, and it's about maybe a third full. I have a third of product left in it. Donald has the Zep foaming glass cleaner. This is the one glass cleaners he uses on his car. But we're going to quit. We're not going to buy those anymore after we get finished with the products that we have in here now, the spray products, because they have a lot of chemicals and they have propellants. The good thing is you can recycle that can, but it's still a lot of waste in regards to this bottle. I can use this bottle over and over, endlessly. And even if the spray messes up, I can just get a new spray for it. So we won't be buying those aerosol cans of window cleaner anymore after we're going to use up what we have, and so that we don't have that product. We're not going to throw that product away in the landfill. We're going to use up what we have, recycle the container, and then just keep using what we have here. I have a lot of glass around here. I've got 4 mirrors just here in the bathroom. One of the reasons I have so many mirrors in the bathroom is I don't have a natural window. I don't have a window, so there's no natural light. So I just use this mirrors as, you know, to reflect more light and to make that space feel bigger. I have 2 big mirrors in the foyer. And then I have this big mirror here in the hall. I mean, at the end where the desk sits. We call it our office. It's just a desk area. And then I have mirrors and glass all in the living room. So, yep, I do a lot of cleaning with that glass cleaner. That simple little water and a few drops of dish soap does an excellent job. If you try it and it works for you, let me know. Leave a comment below and just tell me how you like it. Well, the soup's done. It's been simmering for quite a while, and I've been stirring it occasionally, and now it's ready to eat. And I'm ready for lunch, so I'm going to fix a bowl. I like a few of these little oyster crackers that you pick up, you know, at the grocery store. That's what I like to put in my soup. Donald likes just regular saltines. Here's our homemade vegetable soup. Using what we have on hand today. It looks delicious to me. I'll probably sprinkle a little bit of cheese on top of it. Maybe put a little sour cream on the side. And I'm going to have lunch. Thank you for coming along with me today. Thank you for spending this rainy day with me. I hope this inspires you to make some soup and to make some cost-effective glass cleaner. And I hope you enjoy your day. Like always, until next time.